What's up, everyone? Welcome to another draft video. This is Sunnyvale, and we are going to draft Defiance for the fourth time on this channel. So let's go ahead and do this. As always, we are recording this video for EternalTitans.com with some of the best content from the highest level players. Check out EternalTitans.com. You won't regret it. Alright, well, we have a site in this pack, and that is very exciting. I mean, Elias has just got to be unbeatable if you can get Elias out in this deck. At worst, it's a 4-cost Lingering Influence that gains a bunch of life. And in between, it still does a fair amount of work. So I think that Regent's Tomb is just the pick here. I mean, it seems like it has very high upside. Other very good cards include Courier Albatross. Warlock's Brew is pretty good, although it's a little lower on my estimation than initially believed. Bear Arms is very, very good, and it fits in 2 archetypes very well, and I think a Rakshadon Egg is still fine, although not insane. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to take this Regent's Tomb. Okay. See what we can follow it up with. This pack has some very good cards. Display of Honor just being a trick that gives +4/+4 and lifesteal is very strong. The other modes on this are not that great. I'm not usually a fan of using them if I can avoid it, but it still has some flexibility in addition to just that. There's also Cliff Diver Mantisaur, which is a very large flyer with Pledge, and that's pretty good. I think that's the pick here. So we've gotten a couple of good fire cards. Power Breach Sentinel is very good as well. This is one of the, I don't know if I'd say like classic time finishers, but a good time finisher at the common level. Just very big, beats up most things in combat, and then gets value when it attacks. But I'm just going to take the Mantisaur here. I think it's the most powerful card. Doesn't go well with the Regent's Tomb, but it's very strong. It's difficult to deal with. And it has Pledge, which is a nice bonus. Okay, Shadow cards, okay, Justice cards, good Fire card, good Time card, good Primal card. Okay, so initially I think a lot of people thought that Twin Fang Cobra was very, very strong, but as the format's gone on, I think we've discovered that it's not quite as good as it might appear to begin with. Most of the time people can figure out how to get around it and not give you the Viper Fang, and even when they do give you the Viper Fang, it's not necessarily that insane. I think this pick here is between the Watchwing or the Barrel Through. Barrel Through, of course, has some nice fixing aspects to it, and otherwise it's just a good card for the Renown decks. And New Order Watchwing is just a really good payoff for those decks as well. So I think I'm actually going to take the Watchwing here. It goes well with Regent's Tomb as well, just being big, I guess. Not much else to say about it. If it ends up in a deck that features Argenport, it's probably not going to get the Renown, but 6 for a 4/4 flyer is a pretty good rate. And if you do get the Renown aspect of it, you can do some pretty great things. Although, admittedly, the equal to the cost of the spell or weapon, unless you are amplifying something, it's not going to be that high. So I think that's going to be the pick there. Okay, let's see what we have here. Really, honestly, not too exciting. Umbral is interesting in that it's a 3/3 weapon that if it survives, it can get bigger. I mean, it's not, I mean, obviously this says it's 2/2, but usually you play it on turn 4 and then play a power immediately after. So this card's actually pretty good. We've got a couple reasonable fire cards, although I don't know that there hasn't been a strong signal that fires open. And we have Power Breach Sentinel, which is a good card, as I mentioned before. I'm going to try for the Umbral Edge. I think this definitely has the most upside. Being able to kill a 2/2 and then a 4/4 is very nice, especially on curve. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Rat Cage goes well with the Umbral Edge, I guess. I think here I'm just going to take the token. I think all these cards are bad with the exception of Honeypot, and Honeypot is only going to be good if you are in the Relics deck, and that's not a place I want to be in, nor is it a place that I am close to right now. So I'll take the token. Ooh, Resilient Wagoneer. Okay, Argenport being open is really nice for us because of our first pick, Regent's Tomb. But this card's buff is really strong. So, I mean, if you just play this on turn 3 and then you play a unit on turn 4, like say you play a unit on turn 2, you play this on turn 3, you play a unit on turn 4, and then you play a power, all of a sudden it's a 5/5 attacking. So, and it also has Pledge and 2 factions to go along with it. So don't sleep on this card. The buff was tremendous for this one. So I'm really happy to see this here. Okay, if we're going wide, which is what the Wagoneer wants to do, Mob Rule is an excellent removal spell there. There's also Broken Wing Brawler, which I think getting nerfed from 3/4 to 3/3 was actually a really big deal because there are a lot of 3/3s in this format, and now instead of stonewalling them, it trades with them. So I'm gonna go with Mob Rule because I think this card got a lot worse. Token of Ambition would be good as well, but Mob Rule is good, and I think the buff to Intimidator is good too. So we're getting a lot of shadow cards, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, this becoming easier to play and going from 2/3 to 2/4 is a big deal. Like I said, there's a lot of 3/3s, so the stat line of 2/3 was particularly poor there. Alright, we'll take the Scavenge. Well, we've got a plan, it looks like. We could take the Spear, which is not fantastic in this deck, or we can take the Token. I'm just going to take the Token. Borrowed Violence. Another Borrowed Violence, okay. Alright, well there's a bomb. I don't think it gets... I think Impending Doom is actually one of the better bombs in the set. It kills people very quickly, there's not a ton of removal for it. It blocks well even, it flies, it just does everything. We would be happy with a Bright Mace Paladin or a District Infantry as well, but no way we're passing up this Impending Doom. And that's solidifying our plan of being Argenport, which would be excellent. Okay, let's see. We have a Finest Hour here, which is very good in just about any Justice deck. I mean, this is close to Torch on power level, although I'm not going to say that it's necessarily better. There's also Resolute Paladin, which is good if you're playing a lot of spells, which we don't necessarily have a ton of. I think it's just an easy Finest Hour here. I guess Shamebearer is pretty good too. It's good at activating Tribute, but there's not very much of that in this set. I'm just going to go with Finest Hour. Shadowlands Bonepicker. This card's very good. We don't really have a strong reason to be in time yet, and I think I'm just going to take the Thorn Beast over it, just in case we end up with fire cards instead of time cards. And also this card is very good in the going wide strategy, like if you play Scavenge into a Thorn Beast, that's some good value. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take this. You can also end up with Magus in this deck pretty easily. This is an interesting pick. Peacekeeper's Helm versus Valkyrie Arcanist. Those are the only cards that I'm really looking at here. There are some fine ones like Sentinel and Insistent Automaton. This is actually very good. Those are fine, but I think if I can stay 2 factions, I want to. We're probably not going to end up with a ton of Renown synergy. So I don't know about Peacekeeper's Helm. An Arcanist is good, but like I think I remember it being better than it actually is because it used to cost 5. It's still very good. I'm probably just going to take the Peacekeeper's Helm. So it's fine, it just costs 6, and we already have a flyer for 6. Okay. Interesting pack. I think that this is pretty easily District Infantry or Scavenging Vulture. Both go well in the aggressive Argenport decks. I'm just going to take District Infantry because I've seen this kill people very many times. Vulture's fine, though. We'd be happy picking it up later down the road. Okay, this is another interesting pick. We've got Inspire Obedience, which is an unconditional removal spell, which is a big plus. And Valkyrie Arcanist. We also have Rusty Grenadier Motive, which is good, but I don't think I want to pick it over any of the cards in this pack. I think I'm just going to take the Obedience. There's just... If we are going wide, then we get a benefit of the +1 attack. Also, there's just not a ton of removal in this format, and this gets the job done. Not really interested in any of these. Dragon Breath is fine. Recruit is okay, but unexciting. I'm just going to take the Mace. There are a lot of 3/3s in this format, so you will get to kill things frequently with the Mace. Alright, let's take the Helm. Offering is probably better than Helm, but again, I don't... Oh, shoot, there was a... what do you call it? An assembly line in that pack. Maybe I should have thought about that more. Oops. Oh well. Okay. Minotaur Ambassador is an interesting one because of the empowerment synergies. I think that I would rather speculate on that than take the Vainglory Patrol here. Vainglory Patrol is fine. It's 3/1 flyer, but it's also not super exciting. You can randomly go big with the Ambassador. Sanguine Sword is actually pretty good in this format. You tend to have a lot of random cards to sacrifice. Okay, we're getting hooked up. Torrential Spiders is the type of card that we want in a go wide strategy. It's both a payoff. Well, it's kind of an enabler. It's mostly just a payoff. Brightwings Paladin's good as well. Grunda Motive, it's also good, but we're just going to take the spiders. We're going to try to get a lot of cards to die, and then use spiders to build back up. Alright, Roof-type Vigilante. This card is still very good. With the 2 Peacekeeper's Helm, I expect it to be even better. Copperhall Porter is a card I'd be excited to have, but this card is just very, very good. It's a flyer. It has Warcry. Alright, we'll take the gun here. Not a huge fan of Hat. Like gun better. Jack's Choice and Direwood Prowler. Both of these are good for the deck that I'm building. I think I want the Direwood Prowler here, though, just because I think that we're going to have a lot of random units to sacrifice, and maybe even some synergies to go with it. Well, Jack's Choice is very, very good, is the thing. And it's certainly a card worth splashing. We already have the New Order Watching and Inspire Obedience. Okay, I'm convinced. We'll just take Jack's Choice. Removes a lot of things in the format, and then it also has the bonus of potentially being played as a combat trick as well. Okay, I'll take the Canary here. Not interested in any of the rest of these. Cowardice. Well, that's a really late Welding Torch, and if we took the Jack's Choice, I think there's a fair chance that we splash, and Welding Torch is obviously very good. Take Sabotage here, not really interested in any of these. Khopesh? No. Trailmaker? Maybe. I don't think we're playing any of these either. I could take the Khopesh, but I think that's so much worse than like the other weapons that we already have. I'm gonna take the Trailmaker, because that card should not be in here this late. Alright, there's another gun. We do need more units. I think that is where we can benefit the most. This is an interesting pick. We've got Scavenge, which I just did say we need more units, and that's good, but Warband Scald is just such a big deal if you can play it and you have a bunch of units. If you just have 3 units on the board, all of a sudden Warcry 3 that's a big deal, as long as you don't have to feed it to something. If you get to trade with something and get the Warcry, it's usually well worth its cost. So I'm kind of sad that I'm passing the Scavenge, but I think that Warband Scald is enough of a payoff that we're happy to take it. Hopefully I can pick up another Scavenge or other cards that just provide bodies further down the road. We have no 2-drops. Okay. Coastal Diplomat is really bad, but it is a body, and it is interaction. Both those things are not very common. That being said, we do have 2 Peacekeeper's Helm, which is the same interaction that Diplomat is. Maybe I'll just take the Samurai then. Yeah, not in love with this pick. I think Samurai is pretty weak, but hopefully we can get some value out of it. No, the Conflagrate's the best card in this pack. Coastal Recruit is fine, but I'm really just not... I am not in need of another 3-drop. I'll just take the Conflagrate here. Ooh. Wow, some very powerful Empower cards, but they involve time, which is not really where we want to be. We would rather be splashing fire in this deck. Yeah, I really wish I had just more small units. But in the absence of that, I suppose I can take Warlock's Brew in order to be some early interaction, which we are lacking. Okay, again, we were almost exclusively Argenport in the first pack, and now we're being entirely cut from it. Well, I think the only card that we can really play is the Bravery, so we'll take that here. Alright, Eye for an Eye is reasonable removal. Yeah, I'm going to take the Unmoored Valkyrie just because it's a unit. And the Brawler. Because we are just really low on units. We'll take the Scavenge, that's 3 units, so that's a plus for us. Really missing out on early interaction. I would be happy to take the Lost Scroll too, but I just don't think we'll have a chance for it. And I'm going to keep on taking the unit when I get the opportunity to. Oh, there's another Intimidator, so that's at least something. Okay, well, we're going to play our 1-drops just because we don't have any 2-drops, and we need to do something early on in the game. Hopefully with the 2 Scavenges and the Torrential Spiders, We have a lot of 4-drops. Hopefully we'll be able to... we have a lot of 3-drops too. Just no 2-drops at all. I lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going with that. Alright, so it looks like we're just Argenport splashing just Jex Choice. We could also splash Torch and or Conflagrate, and I think both of those are reasonable options. Oh, I think the Conflagrate is significantly better than Torch here. Honestly, New Order Watchwing is not very exciting. It is a 4/4 flyer, which is nice, but the most we're targeting with is like Peacekeeper's Helm, and that's not like a 1-for-1 weapon. Sorry, a 1/1 weapon just isn't very exciting. So I'm actually going to cut that and play Conflagrate. I do think we're just kind of going wide here. And we have some powerful cards, and like the Intimidators go well with all of the Scavenges and whatnot. We've got Wagoneer and Rooftop Vigilante, Impending Doom. So we've got some powerful cards, just also some obvious holes. And I think I'm okay playing 19 power in this deck. I mean, our curve doesn't look that expensive, but just the fact that we have so many things that cost 3 and 4, we're going to want to hit 6 and 7 on time as much as possible, I think. I think the last... If I wanted another card, I could play a Mithril Mace. We do have a lot of pledge, so we have that going for us. We've got the Intimidators and the Wagoneer as pledge units, so that's 4 additional pledge units. We already have 2 relic weapons, though. I could split the difference and play... Oh, we're not playing any of the pistols. That seems like a mistake. I love my pistols. We don't have a normal... No, we only have 11 units. 13? Okay, we'll only play 1 pistol. Yeah, okay. We'll go with that. I mean, these 3 are our units, so it's more like 14, but, like, there just are not a ton of units here. Yeah, so that 18 power, we've got 1 token. We have 1, 2, 3 free sources of fire. So I don't think we even need a fire sigil. 4 sources of fire for 2 cards. Yeah, we definitely want like 11 or 12 sources of shadow. I probably want more justice though. Something like that. So this is 1, 7, 8, 9 sources of justice. I think I'm okay just playing like this and only having the token plus the 2... Oh, sorry, this is 3. Okay, no, 4. Okay, yeah, it's out of fire sigil. I want a 4th fire source, but I think that's enough. Okay, so this is what we're going with. This deck looks like it has some powerful things going on, but it also has some big holes. Like, just the curve is really awkward. It's not really aggressive enough to take advantage of some of these things. So, all right, we'll see how it goes.